Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and we are back reviewing yet another monster from the Dungeons & Dragons 5e Monster Manual. Today, we are talking about the Banshee. Pretty notable monster, I think, not just in Dungeons & Dragons, but pretty much all fantasy lore, right? I feel like a lot of people know what a Banshee is in some way, shape, or form, but Dungeons and Dragons does Banshees a little bit different, and I wanted to cover it today. So everybody knows Banshees are, screaming, wispy type of ghost monsters, right? But how a Banshee is formed is pretty interesting. They're the undead remnants of elves who, blessed with great beauty, failed to use their gift to bring joy to the world. Instead, they used their beauty to corrupt and control others. Elves afflicted by the Banshee's curse experience no gladness, feeling only distress in the presence of the living. The curse takes its toll, their minds and bodies decay until death completes their transformation into undead monsters. Now, a couple of interesting things to note here. A banshee becomes forever bound to the place of its demise, unable to venture more than 5 miles from where it dies. It is forced to relive every moment of its life with perfect recall, which I assume would be its death as well, yet always refuses to accept responsibility for its doom. So there you go. Now, and I'm curious about that. Does that mean its death, or does that mean it becoming a banshee? I don't know. That's kind of an interesting question I have there. But the vanity that inspired the banshee's cursed creation persists in undeath. These creatures covet beautiful objects, jewelry, paintings, statues, and other objects of art. At the same time, a banshee abhors any mirrored surface. Makes sense. The banshee doesn't want to look at itself, I guess. For it can't bear to see the horror of its own existence. A single glimpse of itself is enough to send the banshee into a rage. A banshee doesn't require air, food, drink, or sleep. So there you go. Kind of an interesting note with all of that, right? Where the banshee, super beautiful creature in life, now it's super hideous in death, as you guys can see on the photo here of on the right. Kind of a not the best, not the best looking creature in the world, but you can see all the wispy white hair, the dress that it once wore, and kind of that twisting gnarled tree behind it. Typically banshee lairs are deep in dark forests, and that's where they stay, right? I mean, I guess that's where most elves stay, breaking it down. But you take a look at the overall stats here: medium undead, chaotic evil. So is this the first creature we reviewed that is just like pure, like unfiltered evil? I think so. Maybe the aboleth was registered as evil in terms of its alignment, but chaotic evil, there you go. Medium undead. Armor class of 12, 58 hit points. This thing isn't necessarily like a tank in terms of its armor class, but still some pretty decent hit points in my opinion. Can fly 40 feet. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I like creatures that can fly. Just fun. 17 charisma goes kind of hard. 17 charisma is crazy. Saving throws, +2 wisdom, +5 charisma. Lot of damage resistance, guys. Lot of damage resistance. Acid, fire, lightning, thunder, bludgeoning, piercing, slashing from non-magical attacks. Again, this thing's an undead, a ghostly form. So it is also immune to cold, necrotic, and poison. And it is immune to being charmed, exhausted, frightened, grappled, paralyzed, petrified, poisoned, prone, and restrained. So that's what makes this creature a bit more difficult to battle with, right? Like, yes, the armor class is low, but the immunities and resistances are high. You can still hit it, by the way, with these attacks. It's just going to do half damage, which is interesting to note. Dark vision 60 feet, passive perception of 10. It knows common, it knows elvish. A challenge rating of 4, 1,100 experience points. A couple of interesting things here to note with its skills. The Banshee can sense the presence of creatures up to 5 miles away, so in its lair, essentially. She knows the general location they're in, but not their exact locations. Melee attack, it does have a corrupting touch melee attack, so +4 to hit. It's necrotic damage as well. So, really anybody who has any resistances to any type of bludgeoning or piercing, whatever it may be, maybe like a barbarian who's raging, the necrotic damage is going to get them 12 damage too, or 3d6 +2. So, like, you could max out on 20 damage if you rolled really well from one corrupting touch. It's pretty good. Horrifying Visage. Each non-creature within 60 feet of the Banshee that can see her must succeed Wisdom saving throw, be frightened. That's kind of when you get back to, oh, it's spooky, scary Banshee type behavior. You take a frightened creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns. Disadvantage if the Banshee is within the line of sight, ending the effect on itself. Target's saving throw is successful or the effect ends. So there you go. Is immune to the horrifying visage for 24 hours. This is kind of like what the Banshee's known for, right? Is its wail, 1 per day. A mournful wail, provided that she isn't in sunlight. That's why most Banshees are in like wooded areas. This wail has no effect on constructs and undead. All their creatures within 30 feet must make a DC 13 Constitution saving throw. On a failure, drops to 0. Yikes. Yikes. Now, it doesn't say it kills you. Just drops to 0. You fall unconscious. On a success, a creature takes 10 3d6 psychic damage. So that's still brutal. I mean, I don't know, if you did it right, where if you really wanted to be one heck of a DM, maybe a jerk move, I don't know, it'd still be interesting. I think it'd be an interesting maneuver. If you have the entire party surrounding and like talking to the Banshee, and then things go south, and then it wails, that could be a really fun, impactful way to start a fight, in my opinion. I like the Banshee, by the way. I know I've said that for like almost every monster. By the way, upon further review, the Azer and the Ankeg, yeah, they're okay. Kind of boring in my opinion, but you can do a little something with them. I don't know. But back to the Banshee. I like, you can have a whole story surrounding a Banshee, right? A little side quest. I know it's a challenge rating of 4, which is pretty powerful for like low parties starting off, but you can have a nice little story. It's a nice side quest kind of creature, right? Like, Banshees aren't gonna be the, like a big force in a campaign, right? A Banshee isn't going to be. But like the whale's pretty powerful if you do it right. Horrifying Visage is kind of fun as well. Corrupting Touch, if you want to roll for it and roll well, can be a fun attack as well. Like, the Banshee can put up a good fight. And I think it can be a good, almost like a mini boss type of fight in a campaign, where you can add a little story about it and give your Banshee some background and some flavor, and how did she end up in the forest? What was the Banshee's original name? Why were they so enamored with themselves and not giving their gift to the world? Like, what do they know about the area? There's a lot of interesting things that you can do with it, because the Banshee can still travel up to 5 miles. That's some good distance, right, for the Banshees. Like, you can have them be a source of information if you want. Some lore sprinkled in there as well about like the surrounding area and maybe the history of the area that your group is in. And then it's kind of a little mini boss fight as well, which I enjoy. So Banshee's nice, man. That whale might be my favorite ability yet that we've reviewed. I like a good Banshee wail, man. It's good stuff. So what do you guys think of the Banshee? Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions down in the comments section below. I would love to hear it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. I'm having a lot of fun reviewing all these D&D monsters, and I can't wait to keep it going. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed. We'll see you all in the next video. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and see you soon.